Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, bringing you a review of today's 1-0 win against Fulham with special guest Will. Will, how are you keeping, my man?
I'm doing good. 3 points in the day. Yeah, that's about it.
It's all that matters at the end of the day, isn't it? It doesn't matter how it comes. But look, let's welcome a few people to the building. We have Tottenham Teacher, we have 1 Minute Cuber, we have Paul Brown, we have THFC Fan Bible, we have Inspector E, we have Wayne Winter, big up Wayne Winter, absolute legend, and we have Shepherd. We also have Lily White Lane in the building, big up Lily White Lane. We have Inspector E, and we have Jay Chapman. We have Marcelo, big up Marcelo, and we have Shamu. Marcelo obviously very happy with today's win. He's loving it in the chat here. We also have Joseph Cattle. Big up everybody for tuning in. Big up, welcome. And let's celebrate a win again. We also have Elliot Walsh. Big up, Elliot. Look, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Look, we weren't pretty. It's not the most eye-catching of displays. It's not the most pleasing of displays. But at the end of the day, 3 points is 3 points. It doesn't matter how you do it. You know, I remember when we went there under Pochettino and Harry Winks scored the last-minute winner. People praised Pochettino and the grit and the desire in the team. Why can't they do it tonight? You can already see the Jose outers. They're all over Twitter. Do you really want to win this way? I don't care how we win. I just want to win games. 2 weeks ago, people would have killed for this result. They would have killed for any sort of a win. So, you know, let's get off our high horse. You know, this is a guy who's come out swinging. He's come out fighting. You know, this is a guy that was supposedly sacked. He lost the dressing room. The players didn't want to play from him. You know, Nagelsmann was coming in. Brendan Rodgers was coming in. Well, them names aren't being banded around anymore because I hate to say it to you, Jose isn't going anywhere. He hasn't lost the dressing room. You know, at the end of the day, this showed great desire and determination. I just want to welcome one of my good friends here to the stream. Sean Mitchell, he's one of my close friends, everybody, so be nice to him. He's making his debut. Big welcome, Sean. And Marcelo, I know you're watching. Look, Marcelo, if you want on, just let me know. It's not a problem, and you can pop on as well. But look, Sean, first of all, how are you feeling? How are you?
Good. I think a little bit nervy today, but pulled it through in the end, thank God. Other than that, feeling good. How are you?
Yeah, look, no need to be nervy. The Harris Army are going to treat you good, lad. We have a super chat in here from Kev Williams. By the way, I do accept super chats. They really do help the channel grow. You know what I mean? Why not send one in? Get your comment in and get us to discuss it. Kev Williams says, hi, David. The second half was hard work, mate. Yeah, look, the second half was hard work. So basically what I'm going to do on the show today is I'm going to run through the starting lineup, a bit about the first half, a bit about the second half. I want to talk a bit about the tactical changes that were made in the second half, some of the substitutions. I want to talk about why I think we've learned lessons, why I think Aurier and Reguilon are so important to this team, why I think Hugo Lloris was our man of the match. There's a lot of things to get through today. But look, we'll start with it. So, Will, I'm going to fire the first question at you, man. So, look, you know, the starting lineup, we got the front four we all wanted to see. Were you disappointed today?
No, I mean, even though, you know, I've been on, you know, the moura train since I think before really anybody was really acknowledging that was a good spot for him to be in, was in the number 10. But yeah, I'm also a Dele fan. You know, my kid has a big giant sticker of Dele on his wall, right, along with Kane and Son. So, you know, I think my first Spurs shirt ever as a Nike kit was a Dele shirt. So I'm definitely a Dele fan. You know, first Nike shirt was a Dele shirt. So, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I just think that the front four was great. Back four, you know, the middle two, the center back pairing is good, but, you know, the full backs, no, not good enough at all. In fact, they almost lost us the game. So, but.
Yeah. No, look, it's a hard one. But look, the front four, look, it's the front four we've all been dying to see. It's took time to come together with Dele's issues off the pitch and the issues with Jose. I've always said if they come together, that relationship will make for fire. I do believe that. It's took longer than expected for Bale to come in and hit the ground running. But by the way, lads, we can't forget that Bale, Dele, and Son all had a contribution in the goal that was scored today. So I always say, an assist is always good as a goal, or being in the build-up and creating that breakaway play that makes for a goal. It's just as crucial. So, if you can't score, always make sure you're involved and getting balls in and helping in the goal department. So, look, as disappointing as it was today, you can't be pretty every game. These players are off the back of a heavy schedule. They've had a long Europa League campaign. They've gone all the way in the League Cup. They've had FA Cup games thrown in there. And it was already a compacted Premier League season. So it's a very heavy schedule. So you are going to get games where you just have to grind it out. It's that simple. You're going to get games like that. Just before we talk a bit more, we have a super chat here from Jordan Stevens. Big up, Jordan, by the way, absolute legend. And so thank you so much to Kev Williams as well. Again, Kev Williams is true ambassador of the Harris Army. And so is Jordan Stevens. He's becoming one as well. He's becoming a leader in that army, an absolute general. Lads, we have to look at the positives after a win, and rightly so. But let's face it, Doherty and Davies don't cut it. Heads up and come on, you Spurs. Jordan, look, I was going to touch on this a bit later, but sure, look, let's get on to it now. Look, for me, when Davies and Doherty play, it's no coincidence that when we had to rely on them, the results dropped, performances dropped, and anytime they've played, we get penned in. But, when we've had Reguilon and Aurier, we've won big. We've proven that already this season. We slapped United. We bet City, bet Arsenal, teams like that. When they come back, we beat Burnley. They get rested today, rightly so, in my opinion, because we need them for Palace. Because we need our pace against Palace. They have Zaha, they have Eze, they have Schlupp, and they have Townsend. So their pace is going to undo us Sunday, if anything. So we need them rested. They're off the back of a long injury. So it's a big ask for them to play 3 games this week. So it's about prioritising. So we had to play Davies and Doherty. But when you have that massive drop-off between your starting 11 and your backup players, which I've been trying to tell people all along. People telling me, great squad player, when they come in, they're 7 out of 10s. No, they're not. And again, it was exposed tonight. People target our full-back areas when these guys play. What do you think on that, Sean?
Completely agree with you there. We've seen it even going back to kind of the season before Trippier left. You could see that week in, week out. The man, he wasn't even getting back. Tonight, even I noticed, especially there was a few times where Doherty just went missing. He was just non-existent there. And I think it showed as well. I noticed near the end of the game where Sanchez actually had to get stretched out. You could see the 2 centre-backs were put under immense pressure. They were overworked. It's not something that we need to be doing, to have Toby and Sanchez overworked as well, especially Toby, because, I thought he played absolutely phenomenal again tonight. He's always up there winning headers, but I mean, you can't sustain defensive style football when you have those 2 pairings as a left back and a right back. It's just opening us up for attack after attack after attack.
Yeah, and as well, you can't play your attacking football the way you want to play, because look, in the modern day, fullbacks are so important to be able to play out from the back with, keep possession, especially when you're up the other end. Keep hold of possession, retain sustained pressure of attack. But when you have these guys who are taking 2-3 touches every time to get the ball under control, which reduces the time they're allowed on the ball, and then when they don't have the composure on the ball in the first place, and they panic and can't make a 5-yard pass, you can't play football. Because ultimately what happens is you're giving away the ball, and then your 2 midfielders, Højbjerg and Ndombele, they're spending their time wasting energy chasing after the ball and trying to get a hold of the ball, which is what you've seen ultimately take place in the second half. And it's no coincidence that when Reguilon and Aurier played against Burnley Sunday, that didn't happen. They were on the ball. You know what I mean? And they didn't look as leggy. What do you make of that, Will? And a big one says, thank you so much to Mr. Stevens for the super chat. Absolute legend of Wayne Winter. I'll be getting on to yours in a minute. But Will, what do you make on that?
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's super important for the fullbacks, right? Because it's 2021, the way that fullbacks play now, and it's really the only way that these top teams are able to break down these teams that sit back and put 10 men behind the ball, is you got to gain numbers advantages in 16, 17, 18 zone, or the 13 through 15 zone. And without having fullbacks that have attacking threat, it really makes it real easy for the defense to just sit off, give the fullback space, because they know they're not going to do anything. And that's exactly what they did to Doherty. I mean, there was that one time when he crossed the ball and kicked it completely behind the goal. Both the fullback and the center back gave him at least 2 or 3 yards. It was like, cross it in. Come on, cross it in. They did not fear him at all. But when Reguilon and Aurier are playing in those positions, you can't do that, because if you give them a half yard of space, especially Reguilon, he's going to put it on a dime right into the box, and you're going to end up going down a goal. So it's a huge drop. And I mean, it's like, as far as positive are concerned, 3 points. I'm super glad about that. I too only care about winning, and it doesn't matter how it happens. But if I were to be honest, would I say that I was happy with today's match? Did I come out excited? No, I came out relieved, right? So, it just really shows that I thought coming into this season that, especially out of the back end of last season, that that we had a squad full of pretty good depth, and right now it's showing that's not the case, right? The starting 11 right now, one person will add Reguilon and Aurier to that 11 right there. One person comes out and the quality drops significantly. So
yeah, it does, and that's why you see some of these shoddy, mediocre schoolboy performances, because these players are clumsy, and unfortunately they've just been the dead weight that they've that we've just allowed to sit here, and that's why you see such fluctuations when we get injury problems. Well, I just want to take the super chat from Wayne Winter here. Evening, lads. Big up Marcelo. Come on, guys. A win is a win. We need to be positive. The Fab Four were longed for a starting to click. We will get top 4. First of all, it's all positive. Like I said, a win is a win. I don't care how it comes. At this stage of the business end of the season, you're not going to beat every team 4-0. Sometimes you just have to get in and do the dirty. You have to do a right game and get in there and mix it up amongst them and come out. Sometimes the scrappy wins are the best wins. They'll be boyoed off this in the dressing room tonight. Make no mistake about it. We need to be positive. And the Fab Four we were longed for are starting to click. Yeah, 100%. Look, like I said, it's all good. They're all back there. We once they do get clicked and up and running this back end of the season, I think a lot of teams would be worried. I've spoke about the importance of Bale. It definitely Bale coming in on that right hand side. Yeah, at the minute I'm still tossed up between Dele and Lucas. I do think Lucas is a miss. I will get onto that and explain why. But I do think we'll get top 4. Look, one thing you can never say is I've never faded away from that. I've always maintained we will get top 4. I've always maintained the confidence. You can never say I haven't. And right now we're 4 points off. With Palace at the weekend, we owe them revenge. Let's go and do that. Other teams will drop points this weekend. All of a sudden, we're right back in the mix. Big up, Wayne Winter. You're also becoming a leader and a general of the Harris Army. I really do appreciate it. We have another super chat here from Kev Williams. He says, I'm buying you a beer at the lane when we can get back there. David, keep up the great content, buddy. Thanks, mate. Tottenham till I die. Yeah, no problems. And likewise, when I'm there and if you're there, I'll also buy you one back. We'll sit down. Sean will be with me because he always comes. We'll sit down, have a few beers and have the crack. And Sean, it's a great night when I'm out, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I think the word you're looking for is unforgettable. Definitely something that will last in the memory for a long time. Yeah, I'll definitely take you on some journeys that you'll probably never be on again, but that's what it's all about. That's it's what the boys get up to when they're on tour. And again, thank you so much, and I guess I share your sentiment. We're all Tottenham till I die. And a big up again, Kevin Williams, for the super chat, man. It's really appreciated. Everyone else, don't forget to get yours in. I do try and get everyone's comments up. But when the chat is flying, it's hard to keep up, so super chats do take priority. But lads, one thing I want to get onto, is back to the starting lineup, is Mourinho picking Toby and Sanchez. Fair play. At the end of the day, leading into this game, our last 2 clean sheets in the Premier League, which was West Brom and Burnley, Toby and Sanchez were the centre-back partnership. So you have to roll with it again. The reason why we've seen so many players coming in making mistakes,
for me is because, look, we kept chopping and changing, but with Alderweireld's injuries and that, obviously he's the mainstay. It's hard. You have to manage his minutes. And maybe Mourinho's thinking, look, dip him in and out over the festive period and then have him back end of the season because, that's where the trophies are. That's where the business end is and you need him. So for me, it was it was great that we could get the two out there. What do you think, Sean?
Absolutely, Dave. Completely agree with you. Look, I mean, for me, a lot of people did kind of think maybe, he wasn't going to go with Toby today because of the whole getting the 3 games in. For me, it was a massive step. It showed that he is still capable. Definitely gives reassurance for where he's going to go for the next rest of the season. Anyway, with games wise, he's stepping it up. For me, he just breeds confidence in the centre backs just as a pure core to have him there because to me he's the most experienced player there as well, which is great. And you can tell that the rest of the team nearly even feel at ease when he is there because they know he's the commanding centre back. He's up, he's winning, he's getting into it. So again, fair play for Mourinho for picking him. I think we all did doubt that he was going to do it, but for me it paid off today, definitely having him in there.
Yeah, 100%. And look, we know how important his passing is because we're very hard team to press with his passing range because he can pass it long, he can chip it out to the fullbacks, he can also get it into the centre midfielders, which is crucial. One thing I do want to talk about with Will here while we have him is because look, you've been an advocate for Lucas in the number 10, and I agree with you. You brought a very good point to my attention on it. And today, I actually think it kind of took away from the press. And I think, allowed Fulham a lot more time on the ball, especially at the back. It allowed them to get comfortable and grow into the game. Because, look, Dele's he's not the pressing type. Don't get me wrong. I actually think Dele had a decent enough game today. But what do you think maybe we probably should have started Lucas and brought Dele off?
I don't know if that's... Yes, Dele's not the same type of... He doesn't have the same energy that Moura tends to show on a regular basis, but I think we created enough scoring opportunities that we could have been 3-4-0 up by halftime, right? And it just didn't go that way. That would have been a completely different game. If say that Kane header, even just that Kane header alone goes in, not to mention the penalty that he probably should have had. And then the other, kind of sitter that he missed, or I mean, Kane could have had 3 himself today, right? So I mean, that definitely adds a completely different dimension to the game. As somebody a triple captain Kane in my fantasy team, that his performance today really let me down, to be honest with you. But as far as Dele is concerned, yeah, I think especially in the second half when it started to look like he got a little bit leggy. And I just think that was probably a good job, and and then they brought in the Punisher, right? They brought in Lamela to come in and kick some ankles and do some stuff like that, and that's really always good for us. So yeah, I thought he did good on for doing what you're good at.
Yeah, no, 100% I agree with you. Look, you've been on the Lamela crusade, and rightly so, in my opinion. I agree with you. But, for me, he did change the game. But I'll get onto that a bit later on. So let's get into the first half. Look, the first 10 minutes, we kind of sat back. My opinion on that is maybe Jose Mourinho said, look, keep it tight first 10 minutes, draw them out. Because if we go at them straight away, it means they're going to sit in and we're going to find it hard to break them down. So it is a tactical game as well. So, maybe we sat back, drew them onto us, give them encouragement to draw them out. And then go up there and get a goal, which is ultimately what happened, to be fair. I want to big up Gareth Bale because ultimately he got the ball, he cut inside, he showed his power, his strength, his passing accuracy, great pass to Dele Alli. Dele Alli, look, it took him 2 touches to get the ball under control, slowed it down a little, but then fed Son. Now, Son had 2 options. He could try and cut inside, which the defender would have took the ball off him, or he can go outside and get a ball across. And he chose the right option, done a step over, got on the outside, used his strength, held off the defender. And I want to credit the ball across because, look, from where the position he crossed that ball, it's very easy to hit the side netting or put it straight into Ariola's hands. He didn't. He got it across, and ultimately Dele Alli got on the end of it. And this is what Dele Alli is good at: is finding these pockets of space, knowing where to be, getting in beyond Kane. He got on the end of it. Now, albeit it was given as an own goal, but for me it was going in anyway. So that's a bit harsh on Dele. But we went 1-0 up, and you couldn't ask for much more, could you, Sean?
No, I don't really think that you could have asked for much more. And like you said, I feel like that ball in from Son was pinpoint. I think he knew, he could see the run that Dele was making. It was always going to be a tight angle, like you said yourself. These margins that these players are playing with they're tiny little margins, and they have to be perfect. They have to be perfect, exactly where they have to be. You can't get away with any scrappy balls into the box like that. You'd have keeper in on it straight away or just lumped away. And that's kind of the type of team that Fulham are. They are just a real dogged side. They get stuck into you the whole time. They're there all the time, constantly niggling, like not even 5 yards away from you. They are 1 to 2 yards on you all the time. I think actually Dele took that really well under pressure. I think he done well to get in, to make the space for himself, to get that run in. And I know obviously he did tire during the end of the match and stuff, which is obviously why you come off. But it shows the potential. If he's there and you can bring him on and he can put in a good 60 minutes, and if he gets a goal for you, if he gets an assist for you, you're going to take that, because it's that today was actually the defining moment in the match. And if he didn't start and if he wasn't there, probably wouldn't have scored.
100%, I agree with you. And look, we were kind of comfortable for the rest of the half. But one thing I noticed at the very end, so their player had the ball, okay? He was contained in a tight space. And all Doherty had to do was just sit there in his position. What does he do? He ends up coming diving out, trying to take the ball off him, which opened up the space for your man to knock the ball by him, ultimately just before half-time, when you shouldn't be making these mistakes. You know what I mean? They came down his side, knocked the ball across, and okay, albeit, your man blazed it over the bar to send a rescue search team to go and get the ball out of the River Thames. But at the end of the day, it shouldn't be happening, should it, Will? It's all about being switched on for the duration of the half. And, players can't be switching off like this, because it can cost us. And then you're going in at half-time, and it's a total different game.
I think that, the only thing that Doherty has to his favor is that when he does kind of switch off and lose focus and concentration, at least he doesn't lash out, right? I think that if he's having a bad game, he's not focused, and he's a little bit outside of his depth. He feels sometimes, I know, like even when you're playing, that you kind of get that feeling like the game's out of control, right? You get that feeling inside, and you think with his age he wouldn't fall prey to that, but it can be something that kind of affects you, especially when you got younger guys that that are faster than you, and you kind of feel like you're outnumbered all the time. But I think that if now, granted that Aurier has the speed to make people, I guess you could say, give him a little bit more respect, but if some of those same attacks that they were putting in on the right, though, if that would have been Aurier, you never know if there'd have been a foot dragged off and a penalty in the box, right? It's hard to say that just losing your focus that way. At least when he loses his focus, he's not hanging legs out and going nuts in the tackles to try to make up for it, right? At least he's keeping his head that way. And that's the only positive thing I could say for Doherty's performance today, is that he didn't give away a penalty in some of the situations, right? So,
and it's bad. It's bad. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this guy seriously needs to look in the mirror and have a reality check. And we have Shamu here. He says, cottage cheese and crackers this evening, David. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, we're the Kings of London now this evening, so we can have what we want. And all I want to say is, I did ask for them to restore some order, so here it is. Order, order, order. We are restoring some order in London, and we done it tonight. And that's what it's about. It's about taking back London. We gave some of these teams some easy points to pick up off us over the last few weeks, but we learned our lesson. We held in there tonight, and we got the result. And at the end of the day, it's all you can ask for. It's lessons learned. But look, coming out into the second half, and this is going to take a long time to speak about, because there's a lot of things that went into the second half. I just want to try and make everyone aware from my side where all this has come in. So look, obviously we started off poor. We gave them 2 or 3 chances, easy chances. The writing was on the wall. I don't think it's a case of at half-time, Joseph said, lads, look, we'll sit there, sit back and contain it, go out and play the same. I think that's what he was saying. But when you have players like Bale who ultimately, when you have to manage his minutes, you've Højbjerg and Ndombele who've played nearly every minute this season. They've played a lot of games back-to-back. Ultimately, your players are going to tire. And, it was also a problem in the first half that Fulham were getting a lot of ball in the middle. Like, they were opening us up in the first. They had an extra man in there. And they were winning that midfield battle. Only our breakaway play was better in the first half. Now, the second half, when that went, and we were tiring, they were just walking all over us. And it was just get the ball, get it out wide, double up on the full-backs, get the ball into the box. And ultimately, Scotty Parker saw that was the way to try and get back in the game because he brought on Mitrovic. But before I keep going on that, I just want to take the super chat from Wayne Winter because, as you know, Wayne, super chats take priority. So big yourself up. This time of the season, it's a slog. It's who wants it the most. Every team has a slump. Our slump could be over, but focus, anticipation of awareness is number one. Yeah, look, this season is a slog. It's a hard season, like we've already spoke about. The long Europa League campaign, all the way in the League Cup, FA Cup games, and already a condensed, congested Premier League season. It is going to be a slog, and it's just about being the survival of the fittest. On your off day, it's about still taking points. He says, who wants it the most? Yeah, like I was just saying there, every team has a slump or a slump could be over, but focus, anticipation, and awareness is number one. Yeah. Sometimes you can just win a game by being focused, doing the right thing, anticipating the ball, something before it already happens. You know what I mean? And just get one chance. At the end of the day, all it takes is one kick of the ball and you come in a game. And that's what it's about. It's a big up win. Absolute brilliant super chat there. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much. But back to what we were talking about. So, yeah, look, Fulham, like I was saying, we're just getting the ball out wide. And what I noticed, and I've been noticing this a lot lately, is anytime Doherty and Davies, anytime their fullback anytime the winger down their sides get the ball, because they're so slow and they know they're so shit, they're always standing 10, 15 yards away from the man. They're tucking inside every time. They're tucking in more beside the fullbacks because they're afraid of being exposed. Ultimately, what's happening is, and the reason why we can't deal with crosses and set pieces is because they melted them coming in. Ultimately, what is happening is that the ball's going down their side. The ball's just being whipped in because they've so much time to pick their spot where they want to whip it and look up and see who's in the box. So 9 times out of 10, it's a dangerous cross. And that's been allowed by Davies and Doherty. You know what I mean? It's not good enough. But one thing then Jose done is he took off Dele and brought on Sissoko. And he brought off Bale and brought on Lucas. Now, during the game, this is something I was actually calling for because I was sitting there saying, I was like, lads, we can't just keep letting them do the same pattern of play. We have to get in the substitution and mix it up. And what I did say is I want to go to a 4-3-3 and get an extra body in midfield and try and get the ball. Try and get on the ball. Try and break things up. But when you have Sissoko, who ultimately, look, he walked around for 90 minutes against Chelsea and he's gone off form. So it was the wrong personnel to bring on to try and do that. But, he tried and then he brought on Lucas for Bale, which ultimately maybe went for the 4-3-3 with Lucas playing out right. And look, the same thing just kept on happening, didn't it, Will?
Yeah, I think that Sissoko's kind of lost a little bit of his legs, to be honest with you. I mean, I know that he didn't do anything horrible tonight too, but I don't know. I just think the substitutions were kind of just setting down to the point of where we're gonna set up shop here. We're just gonna ride this out to hopefully get to the 90th minute without giving you guys one. And I think that there were still opportunities to be had to just continue to press and continue to try to get another goal. But I just don't think that's. And maybe Jose just saw that Kane and Son were just didn't have it in them tonight or something. I don't know, but yeah. Yeah, no, look, I just want to take this comment from Mario Escobar. He says, David, my wife is mad at me because I have left her all alone to come and watch her stream. The couch is worthy. No, look, there's two sort of girlfriends and wives in lives. You have the ones that, accept the football and understand it and let you do your thing. And then you have other ones that you have to try and convince
You know what I mean? And sometimes argue with ultimately and be stubborn to try and be able to do it. But you know what? I admire you. You put your foot down. You stuck to your gun. You said, no, I want to be with the boys. I want to revel in this result. We haven't had many of them over the weeks. So look, you know, the couch, sometimes it can be comfy and it's the best place to be. Stay up late, watch a bit of TV, you know, have a few late night snacks, go wild, enjoy it. That's what I say to you. Sometimes it's nice. But, you know, make sure you get up in the morning, make her breakfast, bring her in a cup of coffee with an apology letter, because you know that is what it's going to take. Especially if you want your dinner tomorrow evening. That's just my suggestion. But, you know, so look, the same part of the play kept on continuing. But one thing Jose did do is he realised that, and he brought on Lamela. Now, I know, Will, you've been a good big critic of Lamela, but look, ultimately it worked today. When he brought on Lamela, we were able to keep the ball. Like, you know what I mean? And it got us further up the field, but ultimately took the pressure off the fence, which ultimately won us that game. Mitch, you know, for me, Jose, so like what he done, he got his tactics and substitutions spot on today, in my opinion, because no matter what way you look at it, with the Lamela or the Sissoko for Dele substitution, he tried to affect the game and the flow of the game, which is ultimately what you want. And he got the Lamela decision right, didn't he, in the end?
Yeah, look, I think as far as Jose, the ideas he had, I think he was absolutely 100% right with the ideas that he had. You know, the first thing you're going to think to yourself is, if you're struggling in midfield, you're going to want to put somebody in there that's going to have a bit of muscle and hustle about them. He's going to go in and he's going to start jostling lads. He's going to put in tackles. And you would expect that from Sissoko. On 90% of occasions, you would get that from Sissoko. He would be everywhere. He'd be kicking lads. And that's kind of what Jose obviously had in mind for him to do when he got in. Unfortunately, I don't really think he actually had any influence when he came in. He was kind of there, like he was existing in there. He never really put his own stamp on it. And I think that Jose spotted that. And that's when he decided to bring in Lamela, because, you know, Dave, I know going back a few years ago, you weren't Lamela's biggest fan. You thought he was a big waster and you couldn't see why he was there. But I've always said, when he does come on, he's the perfect impact sub. He can come in, he can change the play, he puts in the tackles. He has that intensity. The minute he's put out onto that pitch, he is hell for leather. He can change the whole mentality of the team. He can create things. He has that little spark of flair about him, which is what I've always admired about Lamela. And like, I know there is times where he has been woeful, but I mean, we've all been woeful at times, to be fair. But as far as what Jose had in mind when he was doing his substitutions, I think he was completely spot on with what he done. But again, it's not actually Jose's fault. It's up to the players to perform. He's sending them in there to do a job, and if they're going out, they're not doing their job, then he has to try and put in somebody else who is willing to do that job. And I think Lamela did, in fairness. Lamela did. Sissoko, not so much. But I think Lamela definitely did when he came on. I think he definitely changed the game a lot as well.
Yeah, 100%.
And you know, hold up. You know, I got to get in on Lamela, right? So
yeah. No, just before you do, I just want to say, everybody out there, look, you know, it's a positive night. Make sure you get your super chats in. Really help take this channel to the very, very top. I only want to go one way and it's up. I'm a positive person, but I can't do it without you and your support. So, you know, look, I know it's the end of the week, but if you have anything, you know, even throw in an out euro, it all helps. So I really would appreciate it. But sorry, Will. Of course, when it comes to Lamela, I know you're on a mission, and I support it. So take it away, brother.
Yeah. So as far as Lamela is concerned, if you're using him in the role that you use him in tonight, I don't have a problem with that, right? But if you're saying that he's a center midfielder, a number 10, or you're saying that he's a winger and you want him to start games, I'm against that 1,000,000%. My whole Lamela out campaign really happened under probably the last year and a half of Poch, when Poch wasn't even was starting Lamela over Son most of the time, right? And that's just not, you can't even put those two guys in the same breath, right? Lamela is not even capable of tying his boots, even though he wears laceless ones, right? So I mean, it's if you're using Lamela as the Punisher, that's my new nickname for Lamela, is the Punisher, right? If you want someone to come off, start kicking people in the ankle, right, stepping on toes, and shutting down midfielders in order to slow the pace of the game down to keep their attack from getting out of hand, no problem, right? He's one of those guys. Even on my
Yeah.
kids' youth team, there used to be one of those boys. And if you needed a guy man-marked, he was the man to do it because he would go in there, he would run down, he'd step on feet, he'd kick ankles, right? He'd get yellow cards. I mean, if Lamela had as many goals as he had yellow cards, we would have had to pay Roma years ago, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
if you're using him in that role, great, good on you, right? Big ups to Lamela. But if you're saying that he's an attacking player and he needs to start, that's where I disagree. 100%, 1,000%, 1,000,000%. Right. So.
And actually, Will, I will agree with you there, because even me and David have had quite a few discussions about Lamela in the past as well. And
Yeah.
I know you are a big advocate of no, Lamela out. And that's when I did kind of start saying, well, if you look at when he does come on, and I will agree with you. I don't think when he starts, he's not the same Lamela. It's like he's just like, okay, cool, I'm starting. I can relax. I don't feel like I have to do much because I'm starting. But it's like he has an extra desire, an extra hunger when he isn't starting and he comes on, and that is the only thing that I really like about him, is that when you need to change something, you need to get in the tackles, like you're saying yourself, he is perfect for that. And that is in the only sense where I would be big on Lamela, is for what he can do when you bring him on. He is a different player altogether when he's starting. It's like two completely different people.
Yeah. No, look, I fully agree with that. For me, look, he's nowhere near good enough to be a starter. One thing I actually did say on the watch along before the game, interesting enough, Matty asked me about Lamela, and I said, look, if you're winning the game, and your team is slacking off, even if, like, I was giving it the big, and I was like, if we were 3-0 up, you know what I mean, and the team's slacking off, you bring on someone like Lamela, because he wants to go out for the kill. He wants the fourth, the fifth, so he's the perfect player in that aspect. And in a way, I was right in what I said, because it's kind of what Jose done today. You know what I mean? So it's brilliant. But look, one thing I do want to say, lads, is I just want to take the super chat, actually, sorry, first, from Matthew Collins. He says, Ben Davies and Matt aren't even worth the price of a bucket of KFC. No, honestly, to be honest with you, I wouldn't change a bucket of KFC for them, because, to be honest with you, KFC, it's nice, it's tasty, you know what you're going to get. It's finger-licking good. But with Doherty and Davies, what you're going to get is it's freaking awful. So, I'd rather bucket of KFC. These two boys, people say about Davies, but he's a good lad. He doesn't kick up a fuss. He's happy to be back up. Yeah, of course he is, because he's a load of wank. He's shit. Of course he's happy to be back up being paid 80 grand a week. You know what I mean? He's just not good enough. But
he's shit in the bucket, lad. He's shit in the bucket. That's what he is.
Before we go on to Davies, I have a question for both of you guys, right?
Yeah.
Is using Lamela in the role that he's good at worth taking up that spot and preventing another winger from coming in and really helping our attack?
Just before I answer that, I want to say big up Matthew Collins. Really do appreciate it, brother. You were listening. You came for the hour and need with the super chat. Big up, man. You're an absolute legend. Will, just to answer your question, look, no, it's not. But for me, if you can play that role to the end of the season, all I'm focused on is getting the season over and done with, getting the most out of it we can. And then we'll look back and then see where we can go from here. But I'm in agreement. It's not. For me, summer, cut your losses, get rid of them. But just until the end of the season, if you can keep him motivated and keep him doing that role, it's perfect.
Yeah, and I agree with you 1,000%, right? But if somebody starts talking about giving him a new contract towards the end of the year, the lid's going to come off. And I tend to be a fairly mellow guy, but if that sort of happens, I might, a little Marcelo is going to come out of me. You know what I mean? So.
We love a little bit of Marcelo. So anytime you want to bring it out, bring it out. But Mitch, what do you think of that question there, lad?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, I think he's been at the club for so long, and you have to look over about what he's managed to bring to us for the time that he's been here. And like that, literally, all you could say is he's a good impact sub. But realistically, like, we need more. We need more than what he is bringing to the team. We need to be going. We need to be where we want to be and where we should be is way beyond his capabilities. So completely agree with you. Well, I don't even think he should be offered a new contract. It should just be cut your losses. And if you can't agree it, you have to just release him. End of story, and get in better talent. That's what we need.
Yeah, no, 100%. You know what I mean. We had Shepherd here saying, imagine if we'd spent 17 million on bottle of Fina. Look, that's only a dream. But unfortunately, we got into a position where a lot of players at this club have become comfortable. But lads, look, the thing is, we learned our lesson. We learned our lesson from the last game, because the last game was the exact same way. We played first half, should have had the game killed off. We didn't do it. Second half, they come out, they're all over us. But we got the job done. We hung in there. We showed grit. We showed desire. We showed determination, and we showed the will to win. You know what I mean? It was thrown in with a lot of congested, a lot of other fixtures that we had in quick successions. So look, it was a good win, and let me tell you why I actually think it's a good win today, lads. Is because look, so Fulham, first of all, Tottenham haven't won any of their midweek Premier League games this season, which just goes to show when we do get the pile up of fixtures midweek, it's not our best time to play. We got that hoodoo off our back. Fulham have only conceded 1 goal in their last 5 games. They've actually switched from a back 5 to a back 4, completely shored themselves up. Fulham's problem is they don't take their chances, which was proven tonight. Which is why I was thinking, you get 2 goals tonight, Fulham are dead and buried. It didn't happen, we got 1. But we kept them out at the other end. You know what I mean? We stifled them. Some people could say we got lucky with the VAR. Look, harsh, I think it's harsh. I think, according to the letter of the rule book, which may I add, so many people said to me at the start of the season, according to the rule book, that was a penalty. The one against Newcastle, people saying, no, according to the rule book, that was a penalty. And since then, I've seen them same people tweeting and crying all over Facebook and Twitter and everything else. Same people, you know what I mean? But don't worry, don't forget, I have it screenshotted, and the next time you do it, I will be reminding you, this is what you said, so suck it up, stop being a baby, stop crying, eat your own words, because it tastes saucy, especially the second time around. And, so, look, at the end of the day, you win some, you lose some. We got off the right side of it today, so I'm happy. Like, at the end of the day, we should have a penalty up the other end. Usually if that's Liverpool or United, they look for reasons to give it. Because it's Tottenham, they look for reasons not to give it. It was a stonewall penalty. So we got, look, you win some, you lose some. But one thing I do want to touch on is Sanchez's performance tonight. And we'll start with Will, and then we'll go to Sean. Look, he's a player I've been very critical of, and rightly so. A few weeks ago, I don't know whether you were listening, but I sent him back to Colombia for a holiday because he was just pissing me off. But since then, he's stepped in, he's got his act together, he's listened to the words of the Irish Hotspur. He's took them on board, he's come back a new man, and he's playing well. And he had a very good performance tonight, got in some crucial blocks, some last-ditch tackles. What do you make of Sanchez tonight, Will?
Yeah, I thought the key thing that I picked up from Sanchez's performance tonight is there were a few times when he ended up having to turn his back to attackers to get back in his spot. But where he normally would have probably messed up, I think that he was able to recover quicker without losing his head. And I think that's the biggest key. And to Winks and Sissoko or anyone else who's complaining about them working on the defense, I think that tonight's Sanchez performance was a result of that work. You know what I'm saying? Because there were several times when another Sanchez could had made a big mistake that cost us a couple of goals tonight. But even though he was necessarily out of position, he kept his cool, and he didn't make it worse by trying to overcompensate for the mistake that he had made. And that's super important, right? If everybody makes mistakes, right? Nobody can play 38 games a season and never make a mistake. But it's not overcompensating for those mistakes. And that's where Aurier gets himself in a big mess, is he tries to overcompensate for his mistake and makes it 10 times worse than it is. And I think that Sanchez has matured a little bit. Now, he's got to replicate that again and again and again and again before I trust him, to command that back line on his own. But yeah, it's a positive step forward. It's definitely a positive step forward.
Yeah, 100%. Sean, what do you make of it?
Yeah, again, Dave, you and me have had many, many, many chats about Sanchez in the past.
Hairpulling moments, not chats, hairpulling moments.
Like how a centre-back couldn't even judge the ball to win a fucking header. Like, how many times did we see the ball go sailing over his head, completely misreading it, completely misjudging it? I do think now, actually, he is playing much, much better. it definitely shows that he is kind of stepping up his game. He's obviously paying much more attention to what's going on around him. Now he has I don't know. I think today he did. He got into key positions where he needed to be able to make the tackle and not go in with wild lunges. We know what he can be like at time to time as well. But I think overall he was fairly composed this evening, and I'd be happy enough with his performance.
Yeah, 100%. Look, for me, personally in the summer, I would sell him. I still would cash in on him and go and buy 2 centre backs, because you're going to need to. You have Alderweireld, who can't play week in, week out. You have Dyer, who's shit. You have Sanchez, who, even if he puts a run between now and the end of the season, which ultimately would be ideal, at the end of the day, he's still not good enough to be here. At the end of the day, he still went missing for half a season. And when you're looking to win trophies and you need to be consistent, you can't have it. So for me, regardless whether he puts a run together ultimately, which is what we want, I still think he's still up for an option to be sold. One thing I want to touch on, and it's my man of the match. I'm going to ask each of you your man of the match as well, but my man of the match is Hugo Lloris. For me, look, he's been suspect the last few weeks. He's made some absolute clangers. But one thing I will say is he was absolutely phenomenal today. But just before I get on to that, we have a super chat here from Jordan. Look, guys, the chat is flying. So, look, mate, if you want your comments discussed, make sure you get your super chats in, and they do take priority. Sanchez has played well, don't get me wrong, but in my opinion, he doesn't have a great footballing brain, and must play with Toby to get the best out of him. 100%, Jordan. 100%. Look, I didn't nickname him the GPS or for no reason. The guy needs a tracker. He needs a buzz that goes off in his arm, to tell him that the ball's near him to wake up. It's no surprise I gave him that nickname. And I agree with you. We've seen him beside Dyer. It's you may as well pay money to go and watch the circus. Bring your kids to the circus, because it's been a disaster. It's no surprise that Dyer has played his best football beside Toby. Sanchez has played his best football beside Toby. Common denominator is Toby. Toby's the one that works. So you cannot play these two guys together. You have to play them.
It's the same thing for Sanchez when he plays for Colombia, right? If Mina's not there to tell him what to do, he doesn't know where to go. He doesn't know what to do, right? So he's the brawn. He's the brawn of the line, right, rather than the brain. So it's spot on, chat.
No. Yeah, 100%. I just want to welcome Kieran to the stream. Big up, Kieran. Welcome Everything Football. Welcome Kala Williams. Big up, my brother. Love the content. Love from Jamaica. Big up, man. Really do appreciate it. Great 3 points tonight. We win ugly. I just love it that bit more. Yeah, look, 100%. And make no mistake about it, they're going to love it in the dressing room as well. We have another super chat here from Wayne Winter, and then I will get on to Hugo Lloris. Big up Wayne Winter with another super chat here. He says, will your right or another day, his head might have gone, but with Toby next to him, he seems better. Not good, but better. Yeah, 100%. And he basically saying, Will, that he agrees with you on another night, his head might have gone, but Toby keeps him calm, and that's what it's about, having that experienced centre back beside him. And that's why every team that's gone on to win the Premier League has always had a centre back there. Even Leicester with your man, what's his name, Morgan. They had a experienced centre back in there, and every team needs them. So it's of utmost importance. And everyone in the chat, let me know where you're tuning in from. As you know, I'm a lover to see. I love to see where everyone's tuning in from. So let me know where you're tuning in from. But back to Hugo Lloris, and big up Wayne Winter for the super chat. Big up Mr. Stevens for the super chat as well. Really do appreciate it, guys. Much love. But look, back to Hugo Lloris. He made some important saves tonight. He kept us in the game, and we relied on it tonight. A couple of weeks, he let us down. He made some clangers, like I was saying, but he was reliable tonight. But my favourite part from Hugo Lloris was over the last few weeks, he's failed to command his area. And namely against Liverpool, Brighton. Balls have come across the 6-yard area, and he's just left them for the defender to basically try and deal with, instead of coming out and claiming it and commanding your area. But tonight, when the pressure was on and they had a corner and they were getting corners in, and when they were getting them in and the crosses in, the ball was starting to bob around the box. You could feel the pressure coming on us. But what he done is he came out, he was strong, he was big, he grabbed his bollocks, found his cojones, and came out and claimed that ball. And when he claimed it relieved the pressure off us. He got us up the field. it was important, and it was great to see him do that. So Hugo Lloris was my man of the match. Will, who was your man of the match?
I think my man of the match for the first half, I really thought, I think the Dele's performance, Hugo Lloris was definitely up there. I think Dele's performance, I think was overlooked a little bit by some people, especially in that first half. Granted, he came off in the second half, but I'm just going to give it to him simply for the fact that I'm glad he's back. Like I mentioned in the chat in Matt's live stream, I'm calling it now. Dele's back. It was just the way that he played. And so I'm not a person who gets necessarily super anal about result. Yes, that's important. But you got to pass my eye test before I start getting into the statistics, right? And so I thought today Dele was putting a lot of balls in, his passing, his link up, his work off the ball. I thought it was, would I say it's spectacular? No, but was it good to see him, as what it made maybe his decent performance, 2 years ago? Yeah, that was. So just for sentimental reasons, I'm going to give it to Dele.
Yeah, no, look, for me, Dele was positive. I think it was always destined to come off. Like I said, I don't think he was fit enough to last the 90 minutes. But, it's not a bad shout. Jordan Stevens here said should we actually be thanking Sanchez today for kicking the ball at the Fulham guys' hand man the match? No, look, we shouldn't really, because he should be making a better connection. Let's be honest, Mr. Stevens. Look, we all get under pressure, but it's how you deal with it. He completely flapped at it. It got to the point where he nearly cooked fresh air. So I was just thankful he made some sort of connection, but he should be dealing better with that. But Sean, who was your man of the match?
I actually just want to touch back on that comment right there as well. I honestly thought I was expecting to see his boot come flying off and the ball just dribble somewhere. I wasn't expecting it. I'm actually glad he just made some contact with it. I was relieved when I seen some contact being made. So far, I think my man of the match has to be Lloris. Look, I do know Dele did put in a good shift, but as you tire, if you want to be up there with man of the match, I have to say you need to be putting it in all the way through. Like, if he had turned around at 55 minutes and went sub on bollocks, then 100%, absolutely, he would have been my man of the match. But I think it showed the type of character that Lloris is, the dedication that he has as well, to be going through the type of stuff that he's gone through, having a couple of clangers and all, it can really knock your confidence. Then to come out and to be claiming everything for corners, like what David touched on there as well. He really commanded the area. He showed that was his. And I think that's why he, for me, deserved to be man of the match today. But I did actually know, and I liked the little dirty tactics when he did come out and claim it. He took his time getting up off the ground, just slow it down. And I think that really kind of helps change the pace of the game as well, just to give us a bit of a breather. It wasn't straight up and looking for who wants it straight away. He knew what he needed to do when he had to do it, and he wasn't afraid to play a little bit dirty either.
What did you guys think of that video that came out last night with Hugo? Did that kind of seem like a goodbye?
I didn't see the video. What was the video?
Oh, this was the celebrating the 100 clean sheets.
Yeah.
He thought he was going in for an interview, and it was just like a combination of the players and all congratulating him on hitting 100 clean sheets. No, I don't think it was as much as a goodbye, because I know we are trying to go for a new contract with him. We still have time to go for more talks with him as well. I know he hasn't agreed on it, and I personally think that he probably will leave. I don't think he will stay, but I think that was just kind of
it kind of had that vibe to me, though, right? Where he started to get emotional, like knowing, my time's coming to an end. Like, it wasn't said, but just the way even the other guys on the team were kind of talking about his 100th goal. It just kind of seemed like, they were saying goodbye, right? Because if it was just 100 goals, you'd be a little more excited. It'd be a little more passionate, a little more energy. But man, it was a very tear-jerking type of video, right? So it struck me, and that's what that came off weird. It was like, is he saying goodbye here, or pre-goodbye, or is he?
No, look, I agree with you. For me, not signing that contract before Christmas it kind of signals the end. For me, look, I think, the only thing that might persuade him to maybe turn around and sign a new contract is if we win the Europa League and win the League Cup, get top four, show him that with a bit of investment, we really can push on next season. But for me, I think he's on the wind down. I think he'll go to PSG, win a French Cup, win a French League, maybe back-to-back, maybe get one more stint in the Champions League and retire. He's already got a World Cup, you know what I mean? So for me, look, but it's no surprise the Spurs fans have called out this Hugo situation for a while. I just want to take Matthew Collins' super chat here. Watching you guys from Southampton, but originally from Tottenham. Southampton, yeah, geez, that's a long way. That's a long way from Tottenham. How did you end up moving down there, man? How did you find yourself up in Southampton? But look, Tottenham, it's a great area. I've been there. I grew up in Croydon myself. I love coming up at the Seven Sisters train station and walking up through Tottenham High Street up to the ground. There's no better occasion than that for me. So big up Matthew Collins. Thanks so much for the super chat. And everyone else, follow his lead and help out the Irish Hotspur. I feel it's been a great stream. You know what I mean? So let me know whether you think it's worthy with a super chat or two. But look, so we talked about the Hugo Lloris situation. So look, one thing I do want to talk about is when Kane isn't finding the net, Son's not finding the net. It's great that we can still get the win. It's a positive, isn't it? We'll start with you, Will.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's been my biggest thing, for a while now, is that if we want to be successful in this league, goals have to come from somewhere else other than Kane and Son. Yeah, I want both Kane and Son to get 20+ goals a season, but if those are the only 40 goals that we're scoring out of 38, that's not a good year, right? We need, because when we were at our peak, probably as far as results were concerned in 17-18, it was. We were getting goals from Kane and Son and Dele and Eriksen and other places around the pitch too. But there got to be other people that are helping out, right? And now that Bale and Moura and Dele are starting to help out, it's a positive sign. But that's got to continue, right? Because we've gotten 6 points out of the 30 that we need to really be a contender for top 4 for the remaining games of the season, right? So, that's got to be a priority is winning games and getting points.
Yeah, no, 100%. You know what I mean? And like the thing is, with just Kane and Son, it was coming predictable. The ball goes over the left and down Sonny side or into Kane. Teams pressed that area of the pitch, completely left our right hand side free, because they knew we weren't going to use it because there was nothing coming from it. You stop Kane or Son, you effectively stop the two of them because they work well as a pair. Teams realised that quickly, and that's why we were lacking the attacking edge we were. But it's been rectified. With Bale coming in, with Lucas or Dele slotting in as the number 10, teams have to worry about every single player in that front four. So it becomes a different proposition altogether to defend against. Well, I just want to take a couple of super chats here quickly before we pass that question over to Sean. With Jordan Stevens here, let's be honest, Hugo has had some real clangers recently, but he has been fantastic for us over the years. 100%. Look, let's never lose sight. When he signed for Tottenham, he could sign for any top club around Europe. They all wanted him. He chose Tottenham, and he's been brilliant. He's given us brilliant service. So big yourself up. Let's not lose sight of that. Would be a shame if he has not to show for it. Yeah, of course it would. It'd be devastating, like many of the players we've had over the years. So big up Jordan Stevens for that. We have Wayne Winter. Who would you guys like in the nets? For me, look, Donnarumma's in the same situation as Lloris. His contract's coming to an end. Go make a punt for him, whether it's realistic or not. Put your name in the hat. You never know in football. You never know. You pay that bit extra, you might get him. There's a goalkeeper for next 10 to 12 years. You'll never have to worry about that position. It's going to save your money in the long run. If not, I prefer Nick Pope. I'll ask you quick, lads, just throw a name out there and then we'll get back to it. Win or Will?
Areola, old nipples over there. I'd like to get him in. So.
Yeah, 100%, Sean.
Yeah, Donnarumma for me. 100% all day. I'm with you.
Yeah, why not take a punt? That's my opinion on it. But we have a super chat here from Spandan Samaran. Big up Spandan, love your name. It rhymes. It's perfect. These are robots. We have played the most amount of games among the top 6 teams. Very difficult to keep the intensity up for the full 90 minutes with missing I presume he's going to say first string. Look, yeah, Sean Moore made a comment earlier. It's like 46 games or something we've already played this season. So yeah, I agree with you. Look, you know, they're not robots. You know, you're going to get performances like this. We have to accept it. You have to take into account the amount of minutes some of these guys have played. You know what I mean? Some of the injuries they're coming back from. The most amount of games in the top six, you know, it shows, and it's very difficult to keep the intensity. Again, I fully agree with you. Absolute great comment there, Spandan Samaran. Love the name. It gives me joy every time it pops up. Big yourself up, man. And everyone else, make sure you get your super chats in and help the channel grow. BG, big up, David. I hope you had a great evening, brother. Well, you know me, lad. Every time Tottenham win, it's a great evening around here at the Harris household. That's all I can say. But Sean, isn't it great that we can pick up points even when Kane and Son aren't firing now?
Yeah, I mean, this has to be crucial to see yourself continue climbing the ladder and moving positions up in the league, which is where you kind of want to be. You know, we should be pushing for top four, and you have to be prepared for when your strikers and your key goal scorers aren't going to be scoring. You know, we had to do it as well 2 years ago when we had Kane out on serious injuries, out for so long, and we actually ended up scoring more goals without him than with him. So I think it shows credit that we can get goals from other places around, that it's not just solely reliant on those two players. And like that, everybody goes through goal droughts. When you can't rely on one, if you've got somebody else that can pop up, then even better. And I think as well, like you're saying, you know, even from centre midfield, we've had and Dele pop up with a few screamers, and we've had Højbjerg push on, score once or twice as well. So you know, they are coming from everywhere. Which is key for me.
Yeah, 100%. It's massive. And you know, look, the win. You know, when you win games, it doesn't matter how you win them, but when you win games, it brings momentum. When you get momentum, it brings confidence. When you get confidence, you go on a run. When you go on a run, it leads to great things. So it doesn't matter how you do it. It's just about keeping the point board ticking over. You know, a few weeks ago after the West Ham game, me included, we were all very down, maybe questioning top four, but all of a sudden it's open. It's open back up. Will, do you believe we can make top four?
Yeah, absolutely. All we really need to do in order to get about 66 points for the season, 66 points for the season, is to get 30 out of the last 14. So far we're on track, you know. And with the way the other people are looking right now too, you know, it's just going to be tough. But yeah, I think we can do it. And even though we win, we don't want to let the win paper over the cracks that still need to be fixed. I mean, every time my son plays a game, even if he plays well, I always tell him at least one thing that he could have improved on, right? So, yeah. But anyway, he's here. I got to run. I got to drive. And I don't want to get a ticket. So thanks for having me on. No. I'll be home all weekend. If you want me to come back on, anytime, my man.
No worries at all. Thanks very much for coming on, Will. It's been a pleasure. Everyone loves you. Everyone put in the comments, show your appreciation for Will. And Will, I'll be in touch. Stay by the phone.
Come on, you Spurs. Cheers, let's go. Take it easy, Sean.
Come on. See you, Will. Yeah, Mitch, do you believe top four is still on?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially because how close the table is. You know, there's only a few points in it really from anywhere from third and fourth all the way down to 10th. There's only a couple of points in it. There's still quite a few games left to play as well, which I think is going to pay dividends. Like you said, you know, gaining momentum now. We're going to go on a big push. I think that we could start to see a bit of a streak coming as well. It happened with City. City have gone on an incredible run, yeah. And I don't see why, if we keep momentum going with the top four that we have, and once we get our fullbacks in and we get them settled again, so we can kind of get maybe a nice little break, a couple of days rest would do us the world of good. But I really definitely think that top four is not out of question. Helps as well with Liverpool losing tonight. I think that was a big bonus to us as well. It keeps everything so close. And, 2-3 games there, and we are laughing. Yeah,
100%. Look, we beat Palace at the weekend. All of a sudden, we find ourselves right in the mix. I'm just going to say we're going to stay on for a little bit longer. So, look, make sure you get your super chats in. Show your appreciation for tonight's stream. Show your appreciation for the graft that put into there for every Spurs fan on the Matty Hayes watch along and everything else, doing the fan cams, bringing a lot of knowledge, bringing on the guests. So big up Wayne Winter. Winter here has answered the call. He says, of course, top four is on. Yeah, come on. 100%, Wayne. We beat Palace. Yeah. We're back in this. Other teams are going to drop results over the next few games. We beat Palace and Arsenal. We may very well find ourselves in the position of actually sitting in for it again, which many people thought was gone. So big up, Wayne. 100% I agree with you. Top four is well and truly on. And we have Tottenham Teacher here with a super chat. Big up, Wayne, for the super chat, by the way. I really do appreciate it, man. True ambassador, like I said. Tottenham Teacher. This guy, he really enjoyed what I had to say on We Are Tottenham TV. I really enjoyed what this guy had to say as well. So big up. Thank you so much for the support, man. He says, visited England February 20. Didn't get to visit the stadium. We'll be back long, bizarre year with 44 matches played. There's a chance, lads. Keep it up, David. A €5, £5 and some because conversations. Come on, you Spurs. So look, Sean, we actually we got up to the new stadium when it was being built, didn't we? That time we went over for the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
You know, so we're like Tottenham Teacher here, who is from California, by the way. I did see you mention that. When we were in London, we actually made our mission to go up and see the stadium, although we only got to see the club shopping around the stadium. It looked immaculate, and of course, we can't wait to get there. You know, and he says here, we'll be back. Make sure you do get back. Honestly, make sure you do get back. Me and Sean are going to make sure we get back as well. So make sure you do. And as well, long bizarre year with 44 matches played exactly. You know, you can't play fantastic football week in, week out. And you know that, Tottenham Teacher. And that there's a chance, lads. Keep it up, David. And he gave me the donation because of the conversation. Look, man, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. You're an absolute legend. You know, this couldn't happen without any of the viewers, any of the super chatters, anyone that puts a view or a like on my video, anyone that smashes that subscribe button. It can't be done without you. So don't underestimate your value and your importance to this channel and helping me take it to the very top. But Sean, one thing I do actually want to talk to you about, and I know it's a very decisive topic. Sorry, I just want to say thank you to all the super chatters as well, obviously. But is Jose Mourinho, look, you see all the Jose outers now all over Twitter and Facebook and all over social media, you know. Oh, is this the way we really want to win? And, you know, me personally, I just want to win. I don't care how we win at this point. And, you know, oh, we got lucky tonight, this, that, and the other. But, like, is it as simple as Jose's the problem? And like we said, this guy has lost the dressing room, like so many people said. Or do you have to take them out of games, injuries, just drop off quality between your first 11 and second 11 into account? And where do you sit on the whole Jose in, Jose out debate?
First of all, actually, I just want to touch on Tottenham Teacher there. Tottenham Teacher, what you need to do is you need to let us know when you are heading over, man, because what we will do is we'll try and arrange a trip. We'll all get over there. We'll show you how the Irish party. We'll show you what the session's all about. We'll show you the crack.
We bring the business.
Don't be shy. You let us know when you are going. We'll organise it and we'll go out. We will go out and we will hit it hard and we'll enjoy it as well. We'll enjoy it. We'll make sure, because I know we definitely do want to get over. We want to do the stadium tour. We want to do the skywalk as well. We want to get over there, experience it all. So do hit us up, man. When you say you're going over, we'll try and organise to go over around the same time, and hopefully we could all meet up and just have a bit of crack, just a bit of banter and all the boys. Now, look, on to your point about the Jose in, Jose out. Dave, I am with you completely on this, and I'm with so many other people when they say Jose in, because I know what it's like. I've seen it week in, week out, and I think some people can just be like horses with blinkers on. They're just staring ahead. You widen your gaze and have a look. Like, clearly the problem is with the players. It is them. They are the ones that have to perform out there. Like, to be honest, they are getting paid more than enough to be out there kicking a football around the place. They should be able to wear that shirt with pride and put in the hard graft. Even if it means you don't get to touch the ball for 70 minutes, you should be willing to run after it for 70 minutes and put your body on the line for them as well. So 100%, I'm with Joe. I'm with Jose in. if it's anything to do with him losing the dressing room, I think that is a player issue. I don't think that's anything to do with Jose. As for I don't like our playing style, or that's not how I want to be playing. Like, I'm with you, a win is a win. If you win the league, if you win the Champions League, if you win the Europa League, you're not thinking about, but the football we played this year. The minute you hit that final, the minute you win in that final, the first thing you're going to be saying is, come on, you Spurs. You're not going to be saying, oh, we won, but we didn't play pretty football.
Yeah,
you're never going to say. You're never going to say that. It's the first thing you're going to be doing.
Me and you won a league title playing together. You know, there were some games. Look, ultimately, most games we were good and we destroyed teams, but there were some games where we had to battle. I can assure you, when we were lifting that cup, drinking Bulmers and Hennessy out of it, you know, I'm pretty sure not one of us turned around to each other and goes, "Woo, we got away with one there. That game, we played poor that game." No, you know, we forgot about that. We celebrated and lifted the cup. You know, so it's absolutely brilliant. I just wanted we have a couple of super chats in here. We have one from D-Trex Kane. He says, sing us a Tottenham song with a British accent. Look, you put in the super chat, I give you what you want. So here it goes. Glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur. Glory, glory, Tottenham Hotspur. So there you go, D-Trex Kane. You know, thank you so much for the super chat, man. Really appreciate it. We have Adam Fox. We have top 4 races still on. All that mattered today was the win. We move on the match. We move on to the match of the weekend. Come on, you Spurs. Adam, I believe you're from Cock. I believe that's what you told me. I believe that was you. Top 4 races still on, 100%. I agree. I've been saying this all along. You can't write us off with the way the season are going. Even when we were losing, other teams were dropping points. All it took is a run to get going, and we'd be back up there. I said that before the Burnley game, and all of a sudden we're back in the mix. All that mattered today was a win. You're 100% right. It's all that matters. It doesn't matter how you do it. It's ultimately, at the end of the day, you want the 3 points added onto your point tally. So you know what I mean? And it takes you further up the table and brings you close to top 4. It's all you want. And I agree. Move on to the match of the weekend, where I have been saying I've been lining up that Palace mascot, the Eagle. He is ready for a stone cold stunner, and I will be delivering. You know, Sky Sports should be getting me on to do it live. Giving all the Spurs fans what they want is giving that Palace mascot, the Eagle, the stone cold stunner. But I agree with you, Adam Fox. We move on to the weekend. Big yourself up. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. I really do appreciate it. And everyone else, you know, follow Adam's lead. It really does go to help making this channel take a professional look. It helps me line up more shows and everything else for all of you. So big up. But Mitch, you know, look, I don't care how it's done. A win is a win. You know, we've had a lot of problems this season. Another thing I want to ask you is on the recruitment and Daniel Levy. It's something I haven't got to ask you about. So take it away. Tell us your opinion.
I think you know where I stand on this, Dave. Look, I mean, you can call out for years and years and years for them to spend big and to buy big and to invest well with what you're going to get for your money. I know money is hard to come by. I know, especially with the times that, you know, I don't think there's going to be real big money spent by any clubs this year. If it is, there's going to be a multi-millionaire takeover that's going to come in and spend his money. It's the only way that, like, clubs aren't making money. They don't have the fans there to spend the money. So I think with investment and all, it's going to stay the same. I don't think that's going to change. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, you know, for me, it seems like you're just smacking your head off the wall saying, come on, lads, spend the money. We need investment, buy in. We know it's not going to happen. This is a business to them. It's not a football club at all. They just don't have any passion or desire for what we believe in, and they're just never going to give it to us. I don't think they ever will.
No, at the end of the day, Sean, you know, you took business studies in school. You know, you done that extra one about business that gets you the points, you know, one that I didn't do because, look, basically I couldn't give a shit about school. Although that's not my opinion now. My opinion is if you are watching and you are in school, give it your all. Don't do what I done. Don't piss about. Don't be the class clown. But look, you know, I just want to take Kieran's comment here. He says, Liverpool talk about their injuries, but when we play bad, it's because of Jose and our negative play. Stupid agenda. Spot on. Absolutely spot on, Kieran. And that's why you have such a great name like Kieran, because you make such great statements. And that's what we want. You know, it's true. It's an agenda. we have Wayne Winter here with another one. He says Jose's going nowhere, and all the crybabies who don't like him because he managed Chelsea, get over it. You know, you're in for the ride and cannot get off, so just enjoy it. Yeah, you know, just enjoy it. Stop causing a division in the fan base. Just sit back and enjoy what's going on, and enjoy the turnaround. You know, I have said for a few weeks, I do think people have spoke a bit too soon on it. But Mitch, do you want to come in there?
Yeah, I was just talking about the whole, like, oh yeah, when we won, like, you know, you don't hear people saying, oh, but we didn't play well. But
yeah,
when we lose, you know, if we play good football but we lose, you don't ever hear them say, oh, but we played really nice football. No, it's like we lost and it's Jose's problem. But it's actually not. Like, again, that's what you have to do.
Yeah, 100%. We have Will Stewart in here with the super chat. Big up, Will. Of course, Will, that was just on. He's that glued. He can't stay away from us. Big yourself up, Will. Really do appreciate it. And we love you too, Will. On this topic, what is the back office doing? How do all the newly promoted sides get better talent than us? Ralph, Jack, Eakins, etc. Look, you know, it's something that I've been talking about a while. You know, people make excuses. At the end of the day, you know, Villa managed to get Ross Barkley in on loan. They managed to get Matty Cash in, who's 10 times the player that he is. They got Tyrone Mings in when they needed a centre-back in. They have Conce there. They have Grealish. They got in your man, the Brazilian midfielder from City, Douglas Luiz. They got in Ollie Watkins, a player that Tottenham couldn't get over the line, constantly muted with. So I agree with you. You know, Leeds United, they spent more in the Championship than what we ever did in the Premier League. You know, there's teams in Championship spending more money with us. Mitch, do you want to answer, Will? What's going on in the back office? Tell me, because I'm at a loss. I'm sick of talking about
it. Look, again, I think this all comes back down to not wanting to spend the money. For me, it's as simple as that. You know, they're never going to pull in any sort of promise unless it's somewhere where they can see that they're going to get investment out of, as in a player is a business opportunity rather than a great player. You know, I think it's all these average players that come in that are worth like 10, 12, 15 million at the most. And that's kind of what they're pulling in. And I genuinely think it just comes down to not wanting to spend the money. I think they've just gone tight. The wallet is firmly shut. Like, you know, it is.
As we say in Ireland, they still have their communion money.
Oh man, absolutely. I'm sure if you were to listen to Levy walk down the hallway, you hear him fucking squeaking. He's that tight. He's like, it's just ridiculous, man. They need to, like you said, open up the purse strings. You need to just shake off all the cobwebs, dust that old bad boy down, and spend a few fucking quid. Like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard.
No, it's not. It's not. But look, you know, we won today's game. That's what it's all about. Look, have you anything else you want to talk about before we sign off? And everyone else also, get in your appreciation. Let me know what you think of Sean. Do you want to see him back again? Regardless whether you do or not, he's going to be back again. So just make sure it's a yes. You know, let him know how good he's been, how much you've enjoyed him. I thoroughly enjoyed him coming on. You know, brought great life to the stream as well. So big yourself up. Was there anything you would like to talk about before we sign off? And if there is, feel free. Now's your moment.
I actually did have something that I wanted to ask you earlier, but again, I got lost. There's so much good topics to be discussed in here. I got lost in it. I think it's something for another day that we'll definitely discuss and pick up on another day. But again, big shout out to the Irish Hotspur, man. Big fan of you, following all your videos, watching, like, subscribe, man. Everybody get in on this. Keep the super chats coming in again. It does support the cause for David and keeps the channel looking professional. And big up to all you guys. You're putting in the work, you're putting in the money, and it is greatly appreciated. So keep it up, guys. Super stuff.
And of course, we have some fans here: Inspector E, Lily White, Blue, Joseph Cal. Big up, everybody. So we have some, and we also have Mr. K. Guys, great stream. Miss Marcelo, but Sean is a great panelist. Look, you know, imagine Sean and Marcelo together. That'd be amazing. And he says, come on, you Spurs. We have Tottenham teacher. He says, big up, Sean. Sean, plenty of love, plenty of respect out here.
Thank you.
And we also have Mario Escobar. Thank you, gents. Great show. Next time, I'll get the wallet. Yeah, big up, Mario. Appreciate it. I believe you're the guy that was saying you're going to be sleeping on the couch, if I'm correct. You know, honestly, enjoy it. Have a good night. before we have Ali Agambar. Sorry I'm late, but win's a win. We move 100%. 100%. It's all we can ask for. But we have a super chat here from Wayne Winter. Big up, Wayne. You're an absolute hero. Everybody support David. Do your thing. Smash those buttons. Get your chats in. We are more than Spurs fans in our blood. We are a family. Shout out, Sean. Look, 100%. You know, look, at the end of the day, what it does is, you know, look, I pay for all these things to try and, to make thumbnails. You know, I spend a lot of time trying to think about what I'm going to talk about. I think you'll find that in my last preview. I even went in, done a big scout report on Fulham and everything else. Content. I'm trying to bring better content. And basically, these super chats really help me, you know, help pay for things, help me being able to give the time to sit here and speak to you guys. And like you know, Wayne Winter says, it's a family. Honestly, without you guys, whether you put in super chats, I understand, you know, money's tight. People aren't in a position to do it. I live week to week as well. You know, I mean, some regions it's not available. So don't worry. Just keep tuning in. Keep getting your comments in. Keep smashing the like. Keep spreading the word. Keep subscribing. Because without you guys, I wouldn't be sitting here doing it. And obviously, I need you guys to tune in. And Sean, he also wants to show his appreciation for you. You know, so big up. Absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely. Cheers,
I'll just take a couple more. That. Yeah, 100%. And you know what? Look, we'll stay for another 5-10 minutes. We'll stay for another 10 minutes, make it to an hour and a half. So we're going to give you question time for the next 10 minutes. Get your questions in, and me and Sean will answer them. We have Kuva 99. Sorry, I was about to do you 10 years out there. I was about to say 89. How dare I? You know, I'm sure you don't look 89. From the year 89. I'm sure you look a bit younger. So he says, look, I don't have to agree with you all the time to enjoy the channel. Keep it up. Look, 100%. Look, this is the great thing about this. Whether you agree or not, we can all get our opinions out there and pick things from each other's opinion. And you know, and what it does is basically it allows us to open up, talk about things, realise everything's not rosy. Because as Spurs fans, we like to pretend everything's rosy, you know, everything's good. You know, let's give each other a spank, smile, wink, nod. You know, great game today, even though you cost us a goal. Well done, 89 minutes, superb, even though it's a 95-minute game. None of that. What it has done is it's allowed us to you know, put pressure on the board, call them out for once. We have Lily White Blue, says Liverpool are Deadpool. Mourinho fans, he says, even I know a run who has a wide up. Okay, I won't repeat that. Love it, though. Good comment. Fairly funny, to be fair. Tottenham teacher, I want to contribute somehow. Don't need screen time, but as always, love the punditry. Yeah, look, don't worry. You know what I mean? You can always contribute. Look, if you ever want to chat, you know, just hit me up on Twitter also at the Irish Y. We have Holly. She said, Holly. She says, keep doing your thing, David. Love the content and credit to the Spurs family. 100%, 100%. We love your content as well, Holly. David, we wouldn't be here if you weren't here. Big up all of you, past and present and future. Big up, Mr. Cade, another true ambassador of the Harris Army. But like I said, guys, you know, get your questions in, and here we go. Follow Inspector E's lead. Also, if you want, get it in with a super chat as well. But Inspector E, what he says is what top centre-back would you sign in the summer? Sean, do you want to take this one?
Oh, it has to be Skriniar for me. I think he's just a player that's everywhere at the minute. There's a lot of topics about him, and I know a lot of people are hunting for him as well. So it shows that he is good at what he does if you've got a lot of people that have a lot of interest in him. And I think he's still got plenty of legs left in him as well. I think he'd be a really good investment for him. You know, you could tie him down for a few years, and, you know, he's going to be the type of defender that would come in and sit there and he would be at home, no questions.
Yeah, 100%. For me, look, centre-back. Oh, Skriniar, I'd love Skriniar. I do think it's dead in the water with Inter. That's my honest opinion. Apart from Skriniar, I would love Milinkovic, but apparently United have open talks with him. So for me, look, it's hard.
What do you think, Dave? What do you think of De Ligt? I was reading earlier on that Ronaldo wants to stay another year, and there's talks that it could push De Ligt out. Again,
look, for me, I'm a huge fan of De Ligt. Yeah, I think if we could get him, that'd be amazing. Do I think we'll have the money to shell out for him? Probably not. But I'd love to get him. But another one I'd also take is Demiral. I think he's a very good player. Mehmet Demiral, I think he's Turkish international. He plays for Juve. He's in and out of the squad, but he's a very reliable defender. Another defender I'd like to get in. I think it'd be a great shout. We have Kieran here. He says, "Where are you guys from?" Can tell it's not Dublin, but I'm guessing somewhere in Munster. No, lad, we're actually from Leinster. We're about 20 minutes outside Dublin. Kildare, we're from the great town of Kilcullen. Originally, I'm actually from Croydon, grew up in Croydon, moved back to Ireland when I was 8. And, found the great Sean Mitchell. We became friends, been best friends ever since. You know what I mean? And look, life has took us down different paths, but we've always remained in contact, always do things together, keep that friendship rocking. But we're from Kildare, Kieran. Sean, have you anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think that definitely you found me more than anything. But I mean, like, again, I wouldn't be interested in football, or I wouldn't be interested in Spurs if it wasn't for you, man. So, there's a long history there with the two of us going way back. And, our little town's very small. It's after growing now, but back when you came in first, there wasn't that many people around. And literally all we done all day was kick football around 6-7 days a week.
Remember, we used to have Bishop Rogan v Monbane, and it used to be war, man. It used to be war, and of course, we'd always go up to your estate because you would be the posh estate. You had the goals, you had the green area that you were allowed to play on. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas we were playing in car parks and stuff like that. But it was always warm. It was always a great game, and from rivalry came a great friendship.
It sure did. And I think that's it's something that doesn't normally come from rivalries. You never really see friendships come from rivalries, but it goes to show you what can come from them at the end of the day. But some really, really, really good times. Really good times.
Yeah, 100%. We have Mario Escobar here with the super chat. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate it, my man. You're an absolute hero, and thank you so much. And anytime you have them, don't be afraid to send them in. It's greatly appreciated here at the Irish Hotspur. He says 10 minutes was enough time to get the wallet. But look, for me, I always have my wallet on me. I'm a diver for misplaced and things. So if I can't fill my pocket and it's not there, I start to panic. So big up you for being able to leave your wallet 10 minutes away. And please say hello to my daughter, Katie. Hello, Katie. How are you? You know what I mean? I hope all is well. I hope you're having a good evening. I hope you're enjoying the show if you're tuning in, which I presume you are. If Mario wants us to give you a shout out, your father. So hello, and thank you so much, Mario. I really do appreciate it. We have Jack Chapman. He says, David, love your show. Jack, Jay, we love you too, man. Big up for the comment. Really do appreciate it. We have Yusuf. He says, big up, y'all. Where's Lily? Look, Lily White Lane, he wasn't on tonight. I have a few other people that have been asking me to get on, so I want to get them on. But don't worry, Lily White Lane will be coming on. Don't worry about that. Is there any interest in Milinkovic? That's from Mourinho Fans TV. I don't know. I don't know. It's a tough one. Us Spurs fans want him anyway. That's one thing I am sure of. We have Joseph Cato. We should have got Diaz or Skriniar. I love Kunde. Apparently, Ronaldo like Sanchez. Swap with the list. Yeah, I'd love the list. I really would. That's making my mouth water. Lily White Blue. Do you think Spurs need another defensive midfielder? Obviously, we need a central defender. Look, on central midfielder, for me, I think, we get Skip back in the summer, put him in there, ship winks out, sell him, and go and buy another centre midfielder. You know what I mean? That you need 5 centre midfielders throughout the course of the season with rotation, injuries, and stuff like that. So Zoko's getting on in age, so he can be a player that you can kind of bring in for like League Cup games and FA Cup games, restore some authority. So for me, I do think we need to sign one. What about you, Sean?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was literally just going to say that about Sissoko. Like, I think he's kind of pushing on near the end, and we need to start thinking about replacements and who you're getting in. I know Skip's actually doing really, really well out on loan with his loan spell, and I know he only scored the other day too, which is showing incredible promise for him. And he's getting loads of game time. And I think I did read that Mourinho as well was saying he's expecting him to be a squad player for next year, which if a manager of Mourinho's caliber is saying that about a youngster, it shows that he does show incredible promise, which is what we need. We need somebody as well that's going to be there, that's going to be able to step in and take the reins and show a little bit of creative spark and pull in and tackles. I do think that we will need to have another defensive midfielder in there as well.
Yeah.
Like look at Højbjerg. The man just gets battered every single game. Like, he gets kicked,
and he enjoys it. That's the sick thing.
Oh yeah, man, the man's a sick animal. But
like
he's an animal. Oh yeah, like whips and chains type of shit. He's like, give it to me. But like but like, man, like, that's the thing, that the body's gonna start telling. He's gonna pick up knocks, he's gonna pick up injuries. Now we know he has the heart desire. He wants to be out there every week, no matter what. I think he would be out there if he had a broken leg. We still wouldn't care. But I think we do. We need to have a backup. Definitely have a backup for centre midfield, defensive centre midfield player. Definitely.
100%. And look, I have two more questions here picked out. It's Inspector Ian Way Winter. And the only other way to persuade me right now before we sign off is a super chat, because it's getting late. Sean has work the next day. I still have to have my dinner. So if you really want your question put to us and answered, make sure you get in a super chat, because the last two questions we're taking is Inspector E and Wayne Winter. So Inspector E, big up Inspector E, says, what's your dream signings, lads? Mine is Grealish, could be Jose's next hazard. For me, look, I'm going to give you my dream keeper, defender, midfielder, and striker. I'm not going to say anything on them because they don't need that quality. Goalkeeper, Donnarumma. Defender would be Dele. Midfielder would be Grealish. And up front would be Haaland. Mitch?
Yeah, look, I think definitely agree with you with all of them. Especially Haaland. Like, that man is insane. For such a young player. But then, you have to look at him. You say, how would he compare when he moves to the Premier League? It's the hardest league to play at in the world. You've seen players come in and they just tend to be flops because they can't deal with the pressure. Like, you look at where he's playing now, and you think maybe 4 teams, 5 teams maximum that would be up there, hard to play against, or hard to attack against. But other than that, you're looking at mediocre teams where you see how close the league is for us this year. It's incredible. It's so tight, and that shows how much everybody's stepping up. And I think Haaland definitely would be one for me. I just think I'd just be interesting to see how he'd cope with if he did make it to the Premier League, how he would cope with it.
I think he has all the attributes. He has the pace, he has the hold-up play, he has the skill, he has the shot on him. I think he's clinical. So for me, I think he'd adapt to any league in the world, to be honest with you. I think, he's the next big thing. The guy's sick. Way Winter then, with the last question. Who do you think will leave in the summer? The Deadwood surely know they're not good enough. Look, for me, it's more of a case of who do you keep. It's easier to go like that. But for me, Davies gone, Doherty gone. I would love ideally to get rid of Aurier as well, but you're only going to buy one right back in the summer. So for me, I do think it's coming in to replace Doherty. For me, I would love to sell Dyer and Sanchez and bring in a quality centre back or 2 quality centre backs. But is it going to happen? No, you'd probably see one. I'd sell Davies, but you don't need to buy a left back because you have Sessegnon coming back. You also have young Dennis Sirkin there. Harvey White can fill in there, and centre midfield when he comes back from loan. Centre midfield, it's easy. You bring in Skip, you sell on Harry Winks, and then on the right midfield, you sell Lamela, and you bring in another right winger. That's my point of view on it. Vinicius also, I believe, won't be here after the summer unless we get a cut price fee from what they're demanding. So you're going to need a striker as well. Mitch, what would you do?
Yeah, look, I think Deadwood is definitely the right way to describe a handful of players that we have now that are featuring regularly in the squad. Definitely for me, Doherty gone, Dyer gone, Davies gone, Winks out. I'd give him away. I wouldn't take any money for him. I would gladly just go on. Enough of you. Thanks very much. And yeah, I think Lamela needs to go as well. I think there's a lot of people kind of going against Bergwijn now. It's hard to tell, really.
He's been shit. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I know he came in. He had great promise and stuff, but I think Bergwijn needs to go. We need to just see if we can make money off him and start to get in the more consistent players, the better players that we need in the squad to get us to where we want to be.
100%. And look, we've 2 super chats in here. Thank you so much. Wayne Winter here with the first one. David, what's happening with the Saturday morning show? Enjoy your dinner. Cheers, Sean. Big up the fan support, David. Look, first of all, with the Saturday morning show, look, it was just an idea I wanted to put out there to see if it's something you guys would be interested in. A lot of people have asked me about it. So, look, I have the ideas of what way I wanted to go, what I want to do. Basically, I'll give you a quick rundown. It is going to take a few weeks to put together, like I said, but it's going to run from a Saturday morning from 10 to half 11, 10 in the morning to half 11. I'm going to call it the Tottenham breakfast, Spurs breakfast, something like that, where I'll be bringing on a guest or two every week. We'll chat, we'll speak, hopefully have a few little fun quiz questions or something in there. And then at the end, the last half an hour, 45 minutes, basically when I bring out the memberships as well, if you're on the right membership, you have priority. You can come on, ask a question, give us your name, give us your age as well, and hopefully have a little chat. And that's basically what I would like to do. But it's going to take a few more weeks to get it together. But big up. I'm glad you're interested. And I will enjoy my dinner. Believe me, I cooked an absolute beast today. So I've cooked chicken, baby potatoes, broccoli, carrots, cabbage, and stuffing. I have all my greens. I have all my 5 a day there. I have my protein. It's the perfect dinner. I have cheese sauce for the cabbage with some bacon bits drizzled in there. I like to think I'm a bit of a Gordon Ramsay. And as well, actually, something you guys can help me with before we do go is I'm not sure whether to have gravy or pepper sauce with the rest of it, with the spuds and the chicken. So let me know your thoughts. Like you said, Wayne, smash that like button and smash that subscribe button. Big up, Wayne, an absolute leader of the Harris Army. What a kid. We also have a super chat here from Awesome Avy or Ave. Awesome Awe. I am dyslexic. I do apologize. Sometimes I get excited and I do get things wrong. But big up Awesome Awe. He says Levy needs to promote this club or sell it. Yeah, 100%. It's come to that point where either they put the investment in this club and they upgrade the playing staff, put the money in and get the rewards, or else they're going to have to sell it. They're not going to get away for another 5-10 years resting on their laurel thinking us Spurs fans are going to accept it, because what this season has done is opened up their eyes. But where do you stand on this one, Mitchie?
Yeah, look, let's be honest here. I don't think he's ever going to sell it if it's making him money. This is the way the tight little duck walks, and it's not going to be quacking anytime soon for spending money. I completely agree. I think he should sell it and let it be a club and let us do what most clubs are doing now, which is spending money on big players and getting results. I do feel like we've been restricted, and it's going to continue that way for as long as he can actually make that happen, unfortunately. But I completely agree. I think it's sell up and let us be a club and let us enjoy sport.
Yeah, 100%. And Wayne Winter, he says, sorry, big up Marcelo too. Look, Wayne, one thing you'll never have to do, lad, is apologise. You're an absolute legend. Look, guys, there we have it. A big thank you to Sean for giving up his time coming on. He's 2 beautiful kids there and a lovely wife to take care of. But he's found time to come on, speak to us, speak to the Harris Army, help me out on the stream. Don't worry, guys, we'll be seeing a lot more of him. Say thank you so much to him. We all appreciate him. We got the 3 points. We're only 4 points off top 4. Roll on that Palace mascot till he'll give him an absolute stone-cold stunner. It's what's coming. We're going to beat them, then roll out for Europe, and then we have the big one, the North London Derby. And I do have someone big lined up for a preview for that. You're thoroughly going to enjoy that. So make sure you do not miss that. The next thing to come out will be a preview for the Palace game. And look, Injosewetrust, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.